So now into our second principle when we think about power generation, rotation. I always say rotation is power generation. If I throw a punch stationary, right, there's no real power, right? But like any other sport, realistically, ball, bat, sport, twisting, okay, and utilizing the body is how you generate power. So no different to throwing a ball, no different to swinging a bat. How you throw a power punch is basically the same mechanics, right? It all starts with the feet. If you haven't watched my boxing beginners principles stance, and we briefly talked about rotation in those videos, you'll understand that stance is everything and structure is everything. You don't want to break the stance too much. But now we're evolving. When we think about power punching, we want to narrow our stance, make it a little bit narrower, right? Our normal stance would be feet should be outside the shoulder width. Here we have a good blend of maneuverability where I can move and I can rock and I can step back, I can step forward laterally and circle. But my power output isn't at my max because the power drives from the legs. And like a squat or like a deadlift, I want to drive through those legs and generate a lot of force compared to like a bench press or an overhead press. You can push more with your legs. This is just simple biomechanics. So understanding that I'm going to narrow my stance now, and not proper kung fu, but they have a point, right? You want to have your knees in line with your feet, but your feet kind of in line with your shoulders. Right now, I've got my hips loaded, and my hips are kind of the gateway in the kinetic chain from the legs to the upper body, right? So I need to have those hips on, knees bent. From here, what I'm going to do, whenever I throw any punch, watch as I shift the weight into my back leg like I would throw a shot put or a ball. I shift the weight into my back leg and I can feel the heel engaged. I can feel my knee, I can quad, my hamstring, my glutes are all engaged. Now, this is the kinetic chain activating. A lot of the time, people break this kinetic chain by disengaging the hips and standing up. You want to keep those hips activated. And as you keep those hips activated, I plant my left heel, turn over my right foot, my right knee, my right hip, all the way through the back, all the way through the shoulder. Now I release the punch. That's how I achieve max power. That's the rear hand. Now watch, the same principle is done on the lead side now. So now I can feel all the weight in my heel. I can feel my quad, I can feel my hamstring, my glutes are all engaged, like I'm at the third quarter range of a squat. From here, now I do the same deal. I start off by turning and pulling and rotating through the upper body and the lower body at the same time. I plant that heel and then I shift everything across. The foot, the knee, the hip, the back, the shoulder, the chest. I open it all up and I manipulate my body and I shift and I shift and I shift that weight across, right? Some key things to keep in mind. When you're throwing that power punch, you want to throw the body then the arm. I see a lot of the time people throw the arm too early and then you're pushing the punch. No different to a bench press, right? You want to throw the body, then the arm in a whip-like motion. You're whipping your body across to generate that force, driving all the way through the kinetic chain and utilizing the body. Your arms are only levers. They're like two medium-sized baseball bats that I'm swinging around with my body. So, to reiterate, rotation is power generation. And how you do that is by shifting the weight from one leg to the other leg, utilizing the entire body whilst doing that and letting the arm go at the last second. That's how you get that real whip and that real purchase on your punch. So next time you're shadowboxing, hitting the bag, sparring, and you want to land that power punch, think about setting it up by turning everything over, shifting the weight, and throwing it across. Because that's how you power punch. Remember, rotation is power generation.